Ciao Milanisti, it's your boy Kush in the Milan Corner. Welcome to the series finale of Charles De Ketelaere's move to Milan. Milanisti, looks like this soap opera is ending the way we wanted it to end. Charles De Ketelaere is moving to Milan. What are the final figures of this move, and how Zlatan Ibrahimovic played an influential role in bringing this player from Club Brugge? Now that Charles' move is complete, is Hakim Ziyech the next target for Milan? These are some of the stories and profiles we're going to be looking at in today's episode, Milanisti, of Rumor or Real. And now before I move into the sales figures of De Ketelaere's move to Milan and how Milan actually ended up saving money, and what did Zlatan Ibrahimovic do to convince this player to come to Milan, I want to introduce you guys to the OneFootball app. Now Milanisti, if you've watched my previous videos and taken my advice to download the OneFootball app, you know this is the app where you found out about Charles' move to Milan. The link is in the description. Download the app and set AC Milan as your home team. Before you know it, you're going to start getting news alerts about Milan's transfer mercato. You're going to see what Pioli's plans for next season are. The incredible progression of Yacine Adli. The OneFootball app covers 150 different leagues in 16 different languages. So make sure, once again, to click the link in the description, download the OneFootball app, and be in the know about the world of football. All right, getting back to Charles De Ketelaere's move to Milan. Over the past couple months, this particular transfer from Club Brugge has turned into a complete soap opera. The fans have been pretty upset with everybody. The management, ownership group, Elliot, me, Redbird. And this is where this particular tweet kind of jumped out to me. So Vito, who does an excellent job for MilanReports.com, Vito put out this tweet about how Charles' move to Milan is now pretty much complete. And I don't want to show who specifically commented this, but this is pretty much a sentiment that I've seen amongst a lot of Milan fans that, oh, it's just 35 million. This is exactly what they asked for from the beginning. Why don't we just give this transfer amount and get it done? Milanisti, because that's not what exactly happened. Milan ended up saving some money here. So if you bring out the receipt of Charles De Ketelaere's purchase from Club Brugge to AC Milan, this is kind of how things started off. It looked like Club Brugge had pretty much set a price tag of 35 million for this player. Initially, Milan made an exploratory offer at about 20 million. That offer was quickly rejected. They then made an offer for around 25 million. That particular offer was also quickly rejected. This is when Milan started to become more serious. They started to understand that Club Brugge does have a certain price tag that they want to meet. For Milan, they felt like the player's value is around that 30 million mark. So that's the offer that they made. 30 million. Initially, it was around 28 million with 2 million in bonuses, but the total amount was 30 million. Club Brugge were still set on that 35 million mark as a fixed payment. At this point in time, things got a little bit more complicated because Leeds made an offer for 37 million. Now Milan found itself caught up in a bidding war, something that Paolo Maldini had explicitly said the club wants to avoid at all costs. So the rossoneri decided to up their offer. They made an offer at 30 million plus 2 million in bonuses. They also pretty much around this same time agreed on personal terms with Charles De Ketelaere. Personal terms were agreed with him at about 2.25 million a season on a 5-year contract. At this point in time, I started getting some interesting tweets and messages and comments from Leeds fans who said, hey, money talks. If you don't have the money, don't go after the player. This is what these guys want. We're willing to pay. We're the bigger club. Here we go. And even our own fans started saying, oh, the players will. Milan is banking on the players will. They think that the player really wants to join Milan, so somehow this move is going to get done. Guess what? Maldini and Massara were right, guys. And here's why. Eventually, Milan made a decision to increase their offer. They increased it from 32 million including bonuses. They went to 32 million fixed with 3 million in bonuses. At the same time, they got Charles De Ketelaere, the player who had the will to join Milan, to reduce his salary. He'd initially agreed on a salary at 2.25 million for 5 years. He decided to reduce that because he wanted to join AC Milan to 2.22 million for 5 years. That saved the club 300,000 euros over the course of 5 years, which amounted to a saving of 1.5 million. And Milan still didn't meet Club Brugge's asking price of 35 fixed. They made an offer at 32 fixed with 3 million in bonuses. So at a minimum, the club saved 1.5 million and potentially they saved 4.5 million. And the other sacrifice that Charles De Ketelaere made to join AC Milan, he reportedly decided to forego some of the bonuses that Club Brugge owed him. So everybody laughing about, oh, his will to join AC Milan. That's what Maldini's relying on. Yeah, he was right. And you were wrong. Now, obviously, those 3 million in bonuses still might have to be paid out to Club Brugge, but at a minimum, AC Milan has saved 1.5 million on this deal. And here's the best part. If that 3 million in bonuses is incentive based, Milan is probably going to make that money and push it over to Club Brugge. What do I mean when I say that? they're probably going to have a lot of revenue coming from shirt sales. At the same time, if this guy's playing in the Champions League, say you're playing a group stage match and he wins us a game in the 75th minute, Milan wins it 1-0, Charles De Ketelaere assisted a goal or scored a goal, that makes us $2.5 million in potential prize money. Those earnings subsidize the cost of paying for that bonus. And this is the magic of this new AC Milan. They're trying to create enough revenue to be able to pay for their expenses. They don't want to just keep forking over money from their own pockets. So agreeing to a deal instead of at 35 million fixed, at 32 million fixed, the club has saved immediate cash. Go back to last season where Milan agreed on a deal for Sandro Tonali. When Milan brought him on in 2020, the club had agreed on a deal of 25 million with Brescia. After a slow first season, Milan was able to, not Milan, Maldini and Massara were able to renegotiate that contract. Instead of paying Brescia 25 million, they paid them around 15 million, saving the club 10 million. And if we also keep in mind the Jens Auga move, Milan brought on Jens for 4 million purchase price. They then sent him out on loan. A lot of fans ridiculed Maldini's decision making. They then take that 4 million purchase of Jens Auga and turn it into a 10 million sale to Eintracht Frankfurt, essentially making a profit in the process of about 6 million. So if you look at this mathematically, the potential savings from the CDK deal of 1.5 million, maybe 4.5 million, the savings from Sandro Tonali's deal of about 10 million, the profit that we got from Jens Auga's move, about 6 million, guys, all of this amounts to over 20 million potentially, at a minimum 17.5 million. That is what this club is doing. They're trying to increase their profits. They're trying to reduce their expenses. If it was up to us, everyone was saying, pay Donnarumma 10 million, pay him 12 million. Maldini said, no, we're not going to overpay this guy. Amongst all of the champions from the top 5 leagues last season, AC Milan had the lowest salary bill. That's what this club is doing. They're trying to find ways to reduce their expenses. They're also increasing their revenue. Milan had a deal with Puma where they were getting about 14 million per season. The newly renegotiated contract, the club is potentially getting between 30 and 35 million. Elliott, Maldini, Massara, Redberg, they're all trying to create AC Milan into a self-sustaining club. The ownership group should not be focused on constantly injecting cash into the club. Transfers, daily operations, player salaries, this should all come from your existing revenue streams. The ownership should be responsible for future vision, long-term financial success of this club, and big expenses like building a new training center, like building a new stadium. So in the short term, it might be annoying to watch these transfers take over a month, but in the long term, by saving in every single deal that Milan executes, it's going to be financially beneficial to the club. And when the club is thriving financially, it's going to show on the field too. You will have better training systems. You will have better players coming in because now you can actually afford it through your revenue streams. And you will have more trophies and success. Now, what happens after the Charles De Ketelaere move? Is Hakim Ziyech still coming to Milan? Guys, at this point in time, the Hakim Ziyech move to Milan, for me, on the rumor real meter, I'm gonna have to actually downgrade this. I had initially had it at real, downgraded it to possible. I'm gonna call it unlikely now. Unfortunately, I don't think Milan sees the right wing role as a priority at this point of time. The fact that they brought back Junior Messias and Alexis Salamakers is still here tells me they might actually be banking on these guys to get the job done next season. Unless Milan can get a really good bargain on Hakim, like that 10 million possible price tag, or they can have Chelsea heavily subsidize his salary, I just don't think this is happening. Because at this point in time, I think Maldini and Massara are not going to be looking at the center back role, considering the fact that Alessio Romagnoli left, and they're going to be looking at that central midfield role. And Ibrahimovic also assisted in this transfer. So apparently Charles De Ketelaere's agent is Thomas De Mol, I think that's his name, and he is a former teammate of Zlatan Ibrahimovic. They both played, I believe, at Ajax together, possibly even won a title together. He quit playing football about 5-7 years in, and he became a football agent. He represents Charles De Ketelaere. He made a phone call to Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He asked Ibrahimovic to take CDK under his wing, to take care of him, his assimilation into the Milan squad in the city of Milan. And possibly Ibrahimovic gave his blessing on that. Now, some of you guys commented, should Charles De Ketelaere be playing as a right winger and Yacine Adli plays behind the striker? I wouldn't really agree with that. I think CDK's original move is as a central attacking midfielder. And when you pay one of your highest ever transfer fees, I don't think you then want to tinker around too much with that player's role. I think you want to put him in his best position to possibly succeed. There you have it, Milanisti. Those are some of the news stories we wanted to talk about today. Charles De Ketelaere to Milan is complete. Finally, we can all breathe. But keep in mind, everything that we've seen from this management and ownership group in Maldini and Massara, it's all good signs, guys. And don't forget, we won a title too. Milanisti, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the bell notification so you can watch the Milan Corner videos as soon as I upload them. And make sure to follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at the Milan Corner. And as always, Forza Milan, grazie mille e ciao tutti!